say, okay, cool, we're gonna do very good in laning phase. I want to see Ultra Prime with some early advantages. Maybe if they can get the first 2 dragons, I think dragon stacking kind of gives them a way out in this game.
So that's going to be nice for them. Looking for our first little gank, and Bessa is here at least to say hello, or maybe try to get a little bit of a gank here. Looking for an angle to go in. The fight is going to stop. Nico trying to buy a little bit of time there. Looks like we're trying to find something to happen, and we get melted right before our eyes as we get a 1-for-1 trade. That's a little unfortunate, spending all that resources just to trade evenly.
And the wave's going to be able to hit under the turret. Thankfully for FRK, SMLZ will still be able to pick up this wave. Don't think Baya is going to have too much to say, but actually, there's no combat summoner spell here, so SMLZ just goes down. It is traded for the barrier from Baya, but SMLZ opted for the teleport. Another part of this composition here. He'll be able to move around the...
Gonna go ahead and try and test my mic. Can you hear me now, Alk? Are we good to go? We're looking for our first little root there on Raijin. Taking a bit of damage here as we go in, and Wink does eventually get blinked out on the other side. I'm going to try to lock them down on SMLZ, getting at least some kills, trading back and forth, starting a fight there. Absolute shenanigans on our end, sort of here on the background. Oh, Saber trying to go in, looking for the damage here on Welk as we do layer the stuns there. And Bessa there for the cover as the curtain call opens up, looking for the damage, but that is going to be exposed Jin, as now he's going to get locked down. The Zen go in and Hacker out for blood as more and more of Up go down, unfortunately, for their side, leaving Saber inside enemy territory. It's going to be a 3-hour delay, so I don't think he's going to make it here for this flight, for this Drake, so this should fall squarely in the hands of Up, getting their hands on a couple of more objectives as this goes further and further. I could see them go for a bit of a Drake.
So really interested to see how much more they can kind of put emphasis on this objective now. SMLZ's actually moved over.
Chains of Corruption coming down. Curtain call gonna open up, looking for a couple of shots there. Nico Clone will be able to grab some of it, but Saber goes in, picks up a kill, able to get the score almost even. We're sitting at 6-5, trying to tie things up, getting what advantages we can, and doubling back a lot of time. And that's such a precious resource, but it may not matter if this Rumble just stays here. We've just left him absolutely isolated, trying to look for an angle here on SMLZ. Honestly, getting this trade might be his best bet if he could just close the distance a little more. Just please, 1 or 2 more AA shots, but it's so hard. We do pick up the kill on Varus and go down, and honestly, we take those. That's going to be some nice shutdown gold for Rumble.
Yeah, I mean, just not getting any of those turret plates, so important. Cryan getting smacked in mid lane. They're trying to make this play onto Fearness now. He will have the Scion passive. So,
passive isn't going to get popped as we go down. Score going to get a little bit delayed because technically Scion's not dead yet, but that'll happen here any moment. And this should be some nice plates for them to turn around. Lock someone in the mid lane if we can, but it looks like Zen's going to get spotted. So this could very easily turn into a lot of different just back and forward ganks. Looking for the damage. Curtain call got to open up there. Just 1 shot lands, 2. Looking for the 3rd. Looking for the 4th. 3rd does miss. 4th misses as well. As Hacker going to worry about the Mbessa. We're out for lunch. We're out for blood as the equalizer comes down, and we absolutely melt and fall to pieces. SMLZ somehow able to... We also can't forget, Saber's now sitting at 3-1. We're getting a comfortable little bit of gold just over time and not going down whatsoever.
Got 2 items spiking for very important champions right now. We're trying to make a play on SMLZ. Yeah, he has no flash, so why not? Let's just go for it. They find that pick. It is a trade. Saber ends up going down. How much more? I mean, Fearness just TP'd into this play. Liang Chen's still top lane. He'll pick up this wave. I don't think it's enough right now. I think that FRK are starting to realize that they're falling into a little bit of a trap here. That early game that we wanted to see from Ultra Prime is going off, and they're still finding picks here. This is the way that they need the game to go for them, especially now that Cryan has
That's at least going to be a little unfortunate. So far, Banana Bush now firmly in the control of FRK, so Up has been just kind of pushed out of this. It might just be wise to Scion going in, looking for the angle. Fortunately, not able to find it. We are going to be able to pick up the Jin. There's going to be the first flash there, trying to lock him down, but we're going to turn it in immediately, and should be a dead Jin. Yes, indeed, he's going to go down. That's really unfortunate. That immobility, even with the flash, really just pins him down, and that is indeed the weak link, not the player, specifically the champ.
We were able to get out the McHales from Xiaoxia. That's good enough. Let's move back into mid lane. We actually saw FRK do that. Ultra Prime then, they re-engage, but they miss a couple of their spells, so it feels like if we had some better accuracy, a little bit more precision here, one of these teams would be in a much better spot than they find themselves in right now. This doesn't matter. Like, it's cool. Fearness pressed W, and he has basically the same amount of HP he started this trade with right now. So it's just going to be them trading min lane waves. If SMLZ had landed that ultimate, this could have been a much bigger play as well. FRK still grabbed themselves the dragon, and that puts a massive spanner in the works here for Ultra Prime. That was their ticket to try to secure the game. This is going to be much needed experience for this team. I mean, just Syndra alone, if she gets a level, that's getting closer to her getting that execute and that mini Rabadons that's attached to her passive.
Santacon going down as Saber takes a massive amount of damage and actually goes down. Miss Autoplay button presses one button and takes down the LeBlanc.
Some of these early lane leads just did not pan out. Saber was doing fine in the lane, but never really moved into other lanes to do well. And especially this bottom lane, SMLZ and Wink got a lot done.
Hacker going down to about half HP, having to blow the Crescent Guard. We are still alive. The public execution, unfortunately, is going to be a bit of a miss. That's kind of a bit of a blunder. That should have been a kill on Hacker. Now we're going to be fighting over the ham sandwich. It looks like it is going to go to the Mbessa. I don't blame them for sort of backing off. No reason to die over a silly objective, even though that seems to be a LPL tradition quietly in the background. But ham sandwich going squarely in the hands of Up. So that's going to be at least nice for them right before the Baron pops up, because that's a free ward that you don't have to worry about. Drake's sitting about half HP, and this is exactly what they want. They don't want this fight to actually kick off. Unfortunately, trying to lock them down. SMLZ gonna get caught there, gonna get taken down by Mbessa. We played a little bit too close to the sun, and we indeed did get burnt, so that's gonna be really unfortunate. Drake does fall down, but it does cost us and Mbessa.
Can I please just offer the fact that I don't still does not have any kind of Zonias, so SMLZ, he's kind of the only person that I'm a little bit worried about, but FRK are also just not in the pit.
Ooh, Change of Corruption's going to lock down. Pop Blossom, unfortunately, not able to hit the Saber there. Nashor getting so close to going down. Look at the damage. There it is. Mbessa in. But now we got to get away with the prize. It doesn't matter if you get your hands on this Baron, if you get taken down for your trouble, as Hacker gets one, looking for the second one, trying to mitigate some of the advantages that Up had got their hands on. And I think they just do that.
Oh man, that's two 4-item Jhin. Kind of has to be your hyper carry in this instance with the amount of AD, just raw attack damage this champion gets access to. Either we're going for the Crypt Bloom, so this Sion's going to even be more impossible. And you just look at the boots, right? Like, 3 out of the 4 members, or 3 out of 5 members here, they have merch trades. That's Leo you down. Okay, so I don't think that's game, but if they find another pick, we've got Dragon spawning in a minute 30.
Saber at least popping in, trying to make a couple abilities get wasted, and it does happen, but it's really just a TP as Nashor sits about half HP. Yeah. We no longer have Equalizer to pop down in the Baron pit, so that's going to be a tool out of their wheelhouse. We did pick up Baron, but can we get out of it? That's going to be the important thing there for it. At this point, even FRK
just a little less sharp than some of the teams we'll be seeing in Stage 2 of this tournament. I mean, if they think they're going to be able to get away with this, it doesn't really matter who ends up coming out of this group, because they're going to immediately have to play against some of the better teams that we have waiting for us. And that's what I'm worried about now, even if you kind of just look past just this stage. Now you have a Baron. How much can they actually push? I think that this 2-minute timer, unless they find maybe 1 or 2 picks around this inhibitor turret, we might be looking at a 7th Drake.
Yeah, I think that's a very clear possibility. It looks like we're getting a bit more use out of the Baron. Equalizer coming down, only able to do a little bit of damage, is able to buy time here to try to lock down the Varus. But once again, we're absolutely layering our defense, keeping our squishies alive. I like this coordination here for FRK. Curtain Call is going to open up, but once again, Jin's going to be really exposed as he has to cancel it and walk away as the T3 goes down. And Bessa looking to try to make things something happen, but immediately going to run directly into Syndra. Going to get knocked back as we're looking to take down that inhib. Saber still trying to make something happen, but just really struggling.
Right now for Ultra Prime, they're doing a good job of clearing the minion waves wherever they can. The issue is that Saber is constantly looking for flanks, but just isn't able to make it happen. So what happens now is that FRK just get to say, okay, we'll take another turret from you. We'll start to slowly 7 here in 3 minutes.
T2 down, moving into the T3. No reason to not continue our siege. Another Equalizer comes down, and I feel like maybe we're using this a little bit too liberally. That's a very, very powerful ability, and I don't think you're going to be able to lock anyone down too much. Fearness just able to absolutely tank so much as the Pop Blossom comes in, able to at least get some, but unfortunately I don't think they're going to be able to turn it around as Saber goes in and is able to snipe at least someone. Curtain Call opens up. Is Up going to turn this around? This is their best opportunity, but Fearness able to take all of those shots drops immediately to the back, going down about half HP. This Scion is getting chopped down as we look for kill after kill. Cryan able to do so much for their team, but this can still be anyone's game as we pop a little bit back up and another one goes down up, absolutely wrecking the competition. We stepped a little bit too far forward and we're looking for the full wipe. Saber really wants this kill on Hacker if we're able to lock him down, and yes indeed, we're able to get the entire team for FRK.
Finally, this LeBlanc pays
about 12
off.
seconds on the clock for this up-and-coming Drake, and what an important one it's going to be, Elk.
Yeah, gold doesn't matter as much, and it's all about this vision that we were noting earlier. Hacker trying to clear some vision out right now. You can see that FRK are moving in. Hacker is on vision from this brush right now. He's going to jump over the wall, and he is separated. Saber on one side of the map. There's the equalizer doing nothing here. Wink on to 3.
Awesome as 3 as we lock him down. Curtain call opens up. Fairness trying to find an angle, knocking up the Jin, but FRK taking so much damage as Demacia goes in, looking to lock down 1, 2. We're only going to fall 2 pieces, unfortunately for him, as Hacker goes in, and now going to get taken down. Up, looking in top form, turning this game around. Game number 1 might just fall to Up.
There is the soul. Leo, you
I don't think you can play too heavily handed into FRK, because FRK still has the potential to turn this around for a lot of different reasons, but we gotta find the right opportunity. Curtain call gonna open up once again, signaling a little bit of fight here as we're gonna try to go in, but unfortunately we're just not feeling the confidence for that one. Trying to crack open the base still, that's gonna be a little bit more important. Saber able to do that at least inside the mid lane now, chomping at the inhib, and we should be able to take on this T3 in bot lane now.
They're getting picked apart at the seams. No ability to clear waves as easily as their opponents if they had the on-hit Varus, but Cryan's getting outranged. Saber goes in, takes half of his HP. Now multiple waves crashing. Another double stacked cannon minion wave on bottom lane. You have this wave in mid lane. 40 seconds left on this Baron. This has to be the time where Ultra Prime look for the win. They do not want to have a chance where they're playing around an Elder.
The big thing I'm worried about, though, is we have a lot of ultimates down. Sure, there's a couple more coming back up. We've also got a good chunk of flashes down for Ultra Prime, so if they buy themselves a little more time, this could turn in their advantage. Equalizer is indeed up. It's going to get deployed down on Cryan, locking it down on the other side. Pop Blossom going in, hitting absolutely no one, unfortunately, for them. However, we are able to pick up 1 kill as Saber once again goes in, grabs another one, and Bessa doing the exact same thing, locking down the other side as turret after turret's going to fall down, and somehow Up is making a comeback in game number 1 and taking the entire enchilada, because this is going to be a dead Nexus, Alk.
They lost the bottom lane. They were doing well in mid lane.
Thresh. I'm not a big fan of Thresh when it comes to the sports right now, and don't get me wrong, like, I still play him. I still like the champion. I still like the kit, but I feel like
that look for something on the Saber would just mean probably his flash is going to go missing here.
Cryan going in, trying to lock him down. That's exactly what you're talking about. We're in the Fury, but we are going to trade, unfortunately, for the other side. Getting a little bit too close to the sun. Cassiopeia.
You'll be able to maybe make a move in mid lane, and more importantly for me, I don't want to spend too much time in this lane. I want to go for the top side scuttle.
Once again, though, Cryan going to run into a bit of trouble as it looks like Vi's going to get the knock-up, and this should be a lot of much-needed revenge. As
in time for this play, Dragon's going to be taken by Ultra Prime, and this is worrisome for FRK. They need to be able to steal this.
Fortunately, they're not able to get what they need off. A little bit of back and forward there. FRK able to get their hands on it, so that's going to be nice.
They're going to keep going for this. They should.
TP coming in. Not a lot of reinforcements so far. K'Sante looks like they're not going to respond, but it looks like we're going to try to look in for the Death Sentence. Death Sentence is good. We should have a flay here in a couple of moments, and yes, indeed, we're going to lock down 1 and pick up another kill for Saber. Saber sitting... sure, we have Saber with a lot of gold, but it's a double-edged sword. If you're able to take down Saber, that's the majority of the gold there for your team. So I think that's going to be a good angle. Ooh, trying to look for the angle, but immediately we go in as Saber. It goes in for the damage. The cow has to run away from the snake. A little bit of a weird conundrum. Are we just going to try to tower dive him? Okay, we do back off. But that does mean looking for a kill. Wink getting really, really too close to the sun, I feel. But most importantly, I think FRK is getting more and more separated here. This could be an angle to lock them down. Flay, unfortunately, hitting absolutely no one, as we do have control of the ambush. Wink goes in looking for the damage there, but unfortunately able to find a whole bunch on the other side. Death Sentence pulling them back in. They thought they were out. Nefiri going in, but also going to get taken down as Hacker falls to pieces, goes down on the other side. Crying here, trying to dish out the damage here with the Rune Prism, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough. This Aphelios just hits way too hard, and Saber is still uncontested. Our score at 11.
4,000 gold lead. This is way too much at this point. Wink, that flash, I think, is incredibly exploratory. We're going to be trying to go for a dive here. We're just looking for more kills, more gold into Baye's pocket. Let's give him some turret plates as well with these 3 grubs. They're just way too far ahead. FRK put themselves in a deeper hole, and Ultra Prime are going to continue to scale in this game and continue to mount even higher gold leads. I mean, finished across the board, almost completed first items here for all of Ultra Prime, and we're still talking about Hacker's going to path up, but they have no vision under this play. Maybe they just go for the rise.
Cryan in a bit of trouble. Not even really too worth casting that one. That's a pretty easy death. Lantern there for the safe. And now we've got wallet diff, tower diff, hands diff. I think we're seeing all of it right here, unfortunately, for FRK. Really sputtering out in this one. There was an opportunity. Cryan running directly into the monster and running into that creature. Going to try to ult to safety, but it's just not going to be enough as Cassante picks up another kill, diversifying the gold.
And it is impossible for anyone from FRK to be able to match. More gold going over to Ultra Prime as they take this mid-tier 1.
Mid-tier 1 going to get cracked as the Death Sentence comes in, going over the wall with a bit of flay. Now Yanara got to worry about a good chunk of damage. SMLZ returns a little bit of an exhaust, but unfortunately it's just not going to be enough as more and more get taken down. Wink actually going to go down there in that one, trying to look for an angle as Fearness goes down. So that's going to be another 2 kills right before the Drake pops up on the map.
Oh, man. More kills, 2 going over to Ultra Prime. Control of the bottom side jungle as the dragon spawns. Nothing for this jungler to do. Hacker is just dead for free. A red buff will be their next prize. The dragon afterwards. And now we'll just
should run directly into it. Ryze does finally pop it, but honestly, at this point, if they get caught, this could be a potential bad situation as the Sultan Battery goes in. I don't even think we really need it. However, we do take a good chunk of damage on top of the Vice. The Saber is still here to try to lock them down as Hacker going to get taken down. Redemption coming on the other end as Thresh looking for another death sentence, but it looks like Aphelios is there to pick up the kill there for his team, for his side, as Cassante continues to knock at the top door.
And just look at the map now. Like, Saber teleports mid. He's going to pick up this wave so that SMLZ gets nothing for free. Maybe even a mid-tier 2 if they really want it. Baye is going to pick up the gold on the bottom side with another wave coming. Everything is going right for the side of Ultra Prime. And cool. Fearness, are you going to be able to pick this one up? No. It's a solo kill again onto this Zahen.
It feels like the win has just completely left the sails of FRK. We saw the possibilities. We were rooting for them, but, you know, Ultra Prime, absolutely. I think Saber has been a big contender of this team overall. We're going to walk directly into our own deaths. We're going to try to lock down the Aphelios. This could be a good angle, but unfortunately, I just don't think we have the damage. We are able to at least pick up something for our side, but what can we do? That TP coming in, but not a lot of follow-up because, you know, Cassiopeia is just allowed to take down the top tower. So while this fight's still going on, Cassante going in, looking for at least 1 kill. Got to grab it there. Thresh popping down ultimate there on their end, but unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough. Hacker goes in, only to get taken down, and it doesn't really matter that we're outnumbered because the wallet diff is absolutely insane.
There it is. Another kill, a triple kill going over to Baye. They don't even need the dragon that's going to spawn in a minute and a half. Basically going to end today 3-2, and that means that WE cannot win a single game in their series.
Bit unfortunate for them. Rune Prison coming in on Xiao Xiao, but shouldn't be able to do too much. We've got a lot of sieging potential here, and I think we're just trying to buy some time, maybe crack open the base, because we've been in about 30 seconds. We do have the next upcoming Drake, and I've got to imagine, even under tower, I think FRK is really going to struggle with it. Ryze going in, able to get the Alistair in the background, but it's just not able to do enough. We're able to at least get Saber, but unfortunately, we're going to pop the Zonias, keeping ourselves alive. So much damage as Thresh popping down an ultimate there. Nefiri trying to turn things around, but it's just not going to happen. We have too much gold on the other side, too much hurt on the other end, and the jungle is the only one to walk away from that.
You see how difficult it is if you just put down Miasma? And look, a Realm Warp is great to get him into the back line, but it's incredibly telegraphed. So Wink goes in, he tries to flash to get himself out. They cannot find Saber. By the way, we also haven't seen a Cultivation of War from this Sehen. There's been no revives available. Ultra Prime are going to look to take this game down in 24.
Alistair here with a Hex Attack flash, about 7 seconds on the clock for the next upcoming, but I don't even think it's going to matter. This Nexus is all but destroyed as Saber just trying to pad their stats here in the background, and this is going to be a 2.